Good morning. Mr. Collins,
Morning.
would you introduce yourself to the pardon board? Tell us your name and your current mailing address, please, sir.
Johnny Collins, Jr.
What's your mailing address?
1007.
All right, good morning, thank you. So, Mr. Collins, I see you have some folks there with you.
Yes, ma'am.
You have Mrs. Collins, you have your employer, Mr. Gentry, and Mr. Will Collins, your uncle, all who want to speak on your behalf, and we'll ask them to do so at the appropriate time. So this morning, you're here before the pardon board seeking a pardon with restoration of firearms. You were sentenced in Caddo Parish in March of 2007 for a second-degree battery conviction. You received a two years probation sentence. Is that information correct, Mr. Collins?
Yes, ma'am.
And your case this morning, Mr. Collins, has been assigned to Mr. Alvin Roche, seated to my immediate left. I'm going to turn it over to him. He has a presentation and some questions to ask of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Collins. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. How are you?
Okay, you look nervous. So sit back, relax,
Yes, sir.
and we're just going to have an ordinary conversation, okay?
Yes, sir.
This is going to be painless. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Madam Chairman, fellow board members, before us this morning, we have Johnny Lee Collins, DOC number 520378. Johnny Lee is here today seeking a recommendation for a pardon with the restoration of firearms for a 207 conviction for a second-degree battery. This offense is the only arrest on his criminal history. Johnny Lee is currently 45 years old. At the time of the offense, he was 28 years of age. Mr. Collins pled guilty as charged and was sentenced to 2 years at hard labor at DOC. That sentence was suspended. He was placed on 2 years supervised probation. That probation started on March 19, 2007, and ended satisfactorily as scheduled on March 19, 2009. Mr. Collins, did you have any difficulty during your 2 years supervision?
No, sir.
Mr. Collins' victim is now his wife, Demetrius Wilkinson Collins. She is unopposed to clemency, and matter of fact, is very much in favor of clemency for her husband. Johnny Lee and Demetrius have been together for over 17 years and have 4 beautiful children. She says, and I quote, she only wants the very best for her husband. The couple officially tied the knot in July of 2018. There's very little opposition in this case. The sheriff's office in Caddo Parish had no comment. The DA's office in Caddo Parish is very strongly opposed due to the violent nature because it was, at that time, domestic abuse. The chief of police had no comment. His employment record is with Gentry Trucking Company, and I can see at least an employment history going back to 2006 because he was employed with Gentry at the time of his arrest. How long have you worked for Gentry Trucking Company?
21 years.
21 years, so he has a 21-year history with the same company. I think maybe you are a diesel technician or
Yes, sir.
mechanic at one time. Are you still a mechanic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I see your employers here to speak with you, so you must have a wonderful and long-term history with him, and has done a good job. Tell this panel why you need or want a pardon, and why is it necessary that you have a pardon with the restoration of firearms?
Well, I think it's due to the day and age with my girls, all this violence, and I'm just self-protection and home protection.
Okay, very good. Did drugs or alcohol play any part in this domestic abuse conviction?
No, sir.
Have you ever used illegal drugs or abused alcohol?
No, sir.
Have you been arrested for any criminal activity since you were released from supervision in 2009?
No, sir.
Have you received any traffic violations or DWI charges in the last 5 or 10 years?
No, sir.
Madam Chairman, I do have a recommendation in this case, and I will share with my fellow board members at the conclusion of this interview. Thank you, Mr. Collins. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. I don't see any other questions, so we'd like to hear from Mrs. Collins, please. Morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead, ma'am. Tell us what you'd like us to know about your husband.
Well, mostly he is a wonderful husband. He is a great father, good provider, and also we wouldn't know what we would do without him. So we just love him. My whole family loves him.
Good. Well, we appreciate you speaking with us this morning. Could we hear from Mr. Collins, Mr. Will Collins?
Good morning.
Go ahead, sir. What would you like us to know?
Well, by far, he's my favorite nephew. And most of all, he's a great listener. I've had him with me 21 years, and prior to that, I had him at my home back and forth, working when he was young. And I just love him. I don't see any fault in him.
All right. Well, good. Thank you, sir. Is he your only nephew?
No, I have several nephews, and he's just my pet peeve.
Good. Thank you,
He's
sir.
a hard worker.
You know, the other nephews are watching on YouTube.
They know.
Say
They
that.
know. Yes, ma'am, they know.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Collins. Is Mr. James Gentry there?
Yes, he's coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Morning,
Morning. Go ahead, sir.
ma'am.
Go ahead, sir. What would you like us to know about Mr. Johnny Collins?
I've been knowing him and his family since I was 12 or 13 years old. And if I could run him through a coffee machine, I could probably double the size of my operation here. He's just a great employee, a great man.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you taking time to speak with us.
All right.
Mr. Johnny Collins, is there anything, a brief statement you'd like to say to us to wrap it up for us before we go?
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, we'll be ready to hear Mr. Roche's recommendation and vote. Mr. Roche.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mr. Collins, I told you it would be painful. Painless,
Yes, sir.
painless. It was easier than a COVID vaccination.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Madam Chairman, based upon a cleansing period of over 15 years with no criminal activity, a stable employment history of over 21 years, and a victim of this offense is in favor of clemency, my recommendation is to recommend to the governor a pardon with full restoration of firearms.
Thank you, Mr. Rattay. Mr. Mirabella?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My vote is likewise the same for the same reasons. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Freeman?
I agree 100%, and I vote for the same.
And Mrs. Watson?
I concur.
And as do I, Mr. Collins. So you've received a unanimous vote. So on your behalf, we'll make that recommendation to Governor Edwards. Good luck to you, son.
Thank you all.
Man, we needed one of these happy ending cases. Love it. What more can I say? You know, it's interesting in this country. You get what was looked like, gosh, so many years ago. He got a felony, which he was sentenced 2 years hard labor. Thankfully, he got out on 2 years probation. And but then it's on your record, right? That's it. You know, lucky, or I shouldn't say lucky, but fortunately for him, he has an uncle. He was given an opportunity to work here, and you know there are many that might not be able to land a job because your record is wrecked. And meanwhile, here he is, this outstanding everything. Husband, father, nephew. He's right. All the other nephews are watching this. So I love how they brought that up because I was certainly thinking it. But what can happen? You lose the right to even have your important amendment right to carry a firearm, and you can lose it. And you have to wait all these years to have. I'm just really grateful that we were able to see that here today. I felt like we're all in the need of this kind of hearing. But with that, I will let you go.